ॐ नमो नारायणाय ॐ नमो नारायणाय
Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha. So we're continuing our discussion of Hari Bhakti Vilas, 13th Vilas, which again, 12th and 13th Vilas about Ekadasi, the 11th day of the moon, and where we've talked all about how to calculate Ekadasi, what different types of Ekadasis, all the different benefits and things of following of Ekadasi Vratam. And now we come to activities on the day of breaking the fast, which is the next day after Ekadasi, either the Dwadasi or in the case of a Maha Dwadasi on the Trayodasi. So this is text 229 of chapter 13. Ata Parna Dina Krityam, the duties to be performed on the day of breaking the fast. After performing Mangala Arti doesn't necessarily mean early morning, but it means an auspicious arati, offering of lamps and things, and bidding farewell to the assembled Vaishnavas and offering them Mahaprasada, one should complete his morning worship of the Lord and surrender everything unto him. And I'm not sure where this verse is coming from. It doesn't say. Anyway, text 230. Sage Katyayana has said, after bathing in the early morning and worshipping Lord Hari, one should offer the result of his vow of Ekadasi to him, to the Lord. Then one should break his fast to complete the vow after remembering the Lord. So text 231, the mantra for completing the vow. So here's the Samarpana mantra, the mantra for completing the vow. There were different mantras mentioned before for the sankalpa or making the vow of doing Ekadasi or vratam. And now we have a mantra for completing the vow. Ajnanatimirandasya vratena nena keshava prasida sumukho nata jnana drishti pradobhava. O Keshava, O my Lord, I am blinded by the darkness of ignorance. Finally be pleased with my vow and glance mercifully upon me. Text 232. During the day on Dwadasi, one should not offer Abhishekam to Lord Krishna. So we're not good. This is the opinion of the Vaishnavacharyas of long ago, Sri Krishna Deva, Vaishnavacharya long ago, Sri Krishna Deva, and we should follow it. Okay, so this is interesting. So the idea is that somehow or other the bathing of the Lord should be done on before the elapsing of the Ekadasi Titi of the 11th day of the moon, and not on the Dwadasi during the day on Dwadasi. So interesting. So to the text 233, evidence that it's forbidden to bathe the Supreme Lord on Dwadasi. So from the Vratakanda of Padma Purana, it's stated, all of the pious credit one has accumulated since birth is destroyed if one bathes Lord Hari on Dwadasi. Text 234. In the Trilokya Mohana Pancharatra, it is stated, a Vaishnava should not bathe Lord Hari on Dwadasi. If one does so, the result of his worship for the past 15 days goes to the demon Vaskala. Text 235. Because it is prohibited to bathe the Lord during the day on Dwadasi, one should, during the summer, bathe the Lord at night during the summer. Why should it be during the summer? Interesting. However, on Pavitropana Dwadasi and Damanakopana Dwadasi, one should not bathe the Lord even at night. Okay, so the idea here is it should be at night. So exactly what's meant by night, obviously either before dawn or after, maybe before dawn is what we're talking about. Text 236, during the day on Dwadasi, one should perform his daily worship and chant his mantras in the morning. Then, according to his capacity, he should feed the brahmanas before breaking his fast by first eating a tulsi leaf that was offered to the Lord. So text 237. In this regard, in Skanda Purana, it's stated, after observing Ekadasi, if one breaks his fast on Dwadasi by honoring the remnants of the Lord's food along with tulsi, he is relieved from the reactions of 10 million sinful activities. Text 238. Ata parni dwadasya pekshanam. While breaking the fast, Dwadasi must be present. Okay, so this is confirmed in the Padma Purana. If there's no presence of Dwadasi while breaking one's fast, it is very harmful, just as it is a sin to cross the river Saraswati without first bathing in it. It is a sin to observe an Ekadasi and then not break fast on Dwadasi. So this is the way that different fasts and vows and vratas are performed. They're performed, you do a sankalpa that you're going to perform the fast for a particular time and you're going to break the fast at a particular time. It's not open-ended that you continue to fast. You have to break the fast also at a certain time. Otherwise, the fast is not considered correct. The vrata is not considered proper. So text 239, in Skanda Purana it's stated, one who does not break his fast on Dwadasi and then breaks his fast on Trayodasi will suffer in hell for the next 100 lives. Text 240. In a conversation between Markandeya and Bhagirata, which is found in the Skanda Purana, it is stated, one who does not show due respect to Dwadasi throws his accumulated piety into the fire. Text 241. In the Kurma Purana, it's stated, it is the procedure that one should fast on Ekadasi and then break his fast on Dwadasi and not Trayodasi. By following this, one achieves the merit of observing 12 Dwadasis. Text 242. One should not neglect the vow of Dwadasi, even for a period of 2 or 3 kalas, because that will spoil one's piety. Text 243. In the Bhavishya Purana, it's stated, one who breaks his fast after Dwadasi has ended immediately, ruins the pious merit that he has accumulated during the past 12 years. Okay, so this is interesting. One who breaks his fast after Dwadasi has ended immediately, ruins his pious. So you have to do it while Dwadasi is there. In the Devi Rahasya, it's stated, when one breaks his fast after Dwadasi has ended, all the pious activities that he had performed, such as giving charity, are rendered useless. Text 245. If Dwadasi does not extend enough to allow one to break his fast, then one should begin his morning rituals about 2 hours before sunrise. And if Dwadasi is even shorter, he should begin his morning duties from midnight. So in this case, it's very important to break the fast while Dwadasi Tithi is still there, still happening. Text 246. What should be done if the length of Dwadasi is insufficient? In the Bhavishya Purana, it is stated, O protector of the earth, if the length of Dwadasi is very short on the day of breaking the fast, one should begin his daily activities, such as giving charity and performing fire sacrifice, about 2 hours before sunrise. Text 247. In the Padma Purana, it's stated, if there is a very short period of Dwadasi remaining on the day of breaking the fast, one should perform his morning and noon duties early in the morning. Text 248. In the Naradiya Purana, it's stated, O exalted Brahmana, if Dwadasi overlaps the day of breaking the fast for a very short period, activities such as charity, fire sacrifice, and so on should be performed at dawn. Text 249. Sage Devala made this statement, which is also found in the Sarada Purana. Sarada Purana. Some of these might be Upa Puranas. I've never heard of that one in particular. All All activities to be performed on a particular day should be completed during that day. If they are not completed that day, one may finish them that night. Text 250, the solution for such a problem. In the Skanda Purana, it's stated, if one sees that only 1/2 of a kala of Dwadasi remains on the day of breaking a fast, one should start performing his duties at midnight. This is the instruction of Mahadeva. Text 251, if one is unable to do this, he should drink some water to break his fast, because drinking water is considered eating and also not eating. So in the Bhagavatam also, we have that example of Maharaj Ambarish doing this, drinking water, and it's considered to be that he broke the fast and didn't break the fast at the same time. Text 252. Therefore, in that same Purana, we're still talking about Skanda Purana, yeah, it is stated, it is recommended that if 2 or 3 kalas of Dwadasi remain, when it is time to break one's fast, one should start performing his duties, such as bathing and worshipping the Lord from midnight. Text 253. In the Kalika Purana and Sarada Purana, it's stated, if the remainder of Dwadasi is very little on the day of breaking one's fast, one should execute his duties, such as performing a fire sacrifice or giving charity at night. Text 254. What should one do if there is a dilemma regarding the breaking of a fast? One should simply drink some water and later on eat grains or eat food. What does it say here for food? It doesn't say, it just says bhuktam, puna bhuktam. Paran. So this will not create any defect in his fasting. Text 255, Sage Katyayana has said, if there is a severe dilemma, then one should chant his mantra and break his fast with water after offering his fast to the lotus feet of Lord Hari. Text 256, morning duties such as worshipping the Lord and chanting mantras are eternal duties, whereby breaking the fast is an occasional duty. So here we have an example of it. Therefore, one should break his fast with water within the period of Dwadasi and thereafter perform his required duties. So here we have, this is an interesting pramana here. So we're talking about certain duties which happen every day, and other which are called nitya, right, eternal, and other ones which are called naimitika. So breaking the fast is considered naimittika. Text 257. The first 1/4, 1/4 of Dwadasi is also considered Ekadasi. If on the day of breaking a fast, this portion of Dwadasi is present, one should wait until it is over before breaking his fast. We have to wait for 1/4 of the Dwadasi Tithi to elapse. Text 258. A fast should not be broken if Ekadasi has not ended. In Vishnu Dharmottara, it's stated, the first 1/4 of Dwadasi is considered to be part of Ekadasi. The devotees of Lord Hari should not break their fast during that period. Text 259. In the same place, it is also stated, Ekadasi is thus made up of Ekadasi and Dwadasi. One should be very careful not to eat anything during the last 1/4 of Ekadasi and the first 1/4 of Dwadasi. Text 260. Other rules to be observed on Dwadasi. From the Skanda Purana, it's stated, a Vaishnava should avoid honey, flesh, wine, oil, exercise, becoming angry, sexual intercourse, fried rice, bell metal pots, betel nuts, greed, and removing tulsi leaves from the body of the deity on Dwadasi. Interesting. Text 261 to 262. In the Brahmanda Purana, it's stated, if a Vaishnava avoids these 12 things, bell metal, flesh, wine, honey, greed, lies, exercise, traveling, sleep during the day, putting ointment on his eyes, and masur dal, he can be freed from the reactions of all sinful activities. And this is interesting because these two verses here, 261 and 262, we don't know what context they're in because it just simply says avoid these things. Okay. Text 263, Brihaspati has said, a Vaishnava should avoid bell metal, wine, chess, exercise, anger, sex, violence, lies, greed, oil, and removing flowers and tulsi from the deity on Dwadasi. Text 264, elsewhere it is said, one should carefully avoid these 8 on Dwadasi. Bell metal, flesh, masoor dal, peas, kado rice, I'm not sure what that is, sex, medicine, and fried rice. It's interesting. Seems to indicate that some sort of rice might be possible to be taken. So because he's saying fried rice. Okay. Should be avoided. Text 265, 266, the symptoms of 8 Mahadwadasis. So remember, we talked about the Mahadwadasis, which was when Ekadasi Titi is on 2 days. The second day is usually, the first day is usually used by Smartas and the second day by Vaishnavas. So that's called a Mahadwadasi. So the symptoms of 8 Mahadwadasis in the conversation between Sudha Goswami and Shonaka that's recorded in Brahma Vaivarta Purana, it's stated, O Brahmana, the 8 Mahadwadasis, Unmilini, Vyanjali, Trisparsha, Pakshavardhini, Jaya, Vijaya, Jayanti, and Papanashini are very auspicious, and they nullify all one's sinful reactions. Among them, the first 4 occur because of the titi, or days, and the last 4 because of the nakshatra, or stars. Still, all of them destroy one's sinful reactions. Text 267, Unmilini Mahadwadasi. If an Ekadasi begins 4 dandas before sunrise, completes its full duration of 64 dandas and overlaps the next day, although the duration of Dwadasi does not increase, it is called Unmilani Mahadwadasi. Text 268, Vyanjali Mahadwadasi. O best of the dynasty of Brigu, when a Dwadasi lasts 60 dandas and overlaps the next day, but the duration of the Ekadasi does not increase, it is called Vyanjali Mahadwadasi and destroys all sinful reactions. Text 269, Trisprasya Mahadwadasi. If Ekadasi is present before sunrise, the entire next day is Dwadasi, and at the end of that night, Trayodasi begins. This is called Trisprasya Mahadwadasi and is very dear to Lord Hari. Text 270, Paksha Vardhini Mahadwadasi. If, when a full moon day or a new moon day is completed, it overlaps the next day, then the preceding Dwadasi is called Pakshavardhini Mahadwadasi. On that occasion, one should not observe the pure Ekadasi, but instead follow the sacred Dwadasi. Text 271. 4 dandas of the waxing moon are considered part of Mahadwadasi when they are in contact with the 4 stars, Pusha, Shravana, Purnavasu, and Rohini. The preceding 4 Mahadwadasis occur due to contact with the Titi, but by fasting on these days, one achieves immense benefit. Text 272 to 273. O Bhargava, the observance of Unmilani Mahadwadasi purifies even the killer of a Brahmana. The observances of Vyanjali Mahadwadasi frees one from the reactions of killing 10,000 living entities. Observing Trisprasya Mahadwadasi relieves one of the reactions of 4 types of grievous sinful activities, and observing Pakshavardhini Mahadwadasi annihilates unlimited sinful reactions. Text 274. The three Mahadwadasis, Jaya, Jayanti, and Vijaya, are capable of delivering one from a ghostly existence. The observance of Jayanti Mahadwadasi protects miscreants from going to hell. O best in the dynasty of Brigu, all 8 Mahadwadasis are capable of removing sins. Text 275 to 276, it's also said, O best of the dynasty of Brigu, if an auspicious Ekadasi or Dwadasi during the fortnight of the waxing moon arrives, and if one fails to observe it due to being misguided by an atheist, he will lose all his pious merit, just as one loses nectar that is kept in one's cupped palms. Text 277, Lord Hari, the personification of religious principles, has personally appeared as Ekadasi. Vows such as observance of Vyanjali Mahadwadasi and Unmilani Mahadwadasi are non-different from his transcendental body. Text 278. One should know for certain that sinful people who reject the vow of Vyanjali Mahadwadasi and follow some other vow are envious of Lord Krishna. Text 279. There is no doubt that the foolish people who are fond of dry arguments transgress the scriptural injunctions and inspire common people to follow other vows will have to accept the sinful reactions of those vows on their heads. Text 280. A learned person should give up false pride and advise others to act in a way that is in accordance with the injunctions of the scriptures, and he should never associate with sinful-minded people. Text 281. In a conversation between Vashishta and Mandhata, which is found in the Brahma Purana, it's stated, those who wish to obtain the actual benefit of observing the vow of Dwadasi should observe the Jaya, Vijaya, Jayanti, and Papanashini Mahadwadasis because they relieve one of all sinful reactions. Text 282. Observing the 8 Mahadwadasis is eternal. In Brahma Vaivarta Purana, it is stated the compilers of the Puranas have repeatedly described these 8 Mahadwadasis. If one fails to observe even one of them, all his accumulated piety is lost. Text 283. The Supreme Lord spoke this verse, which is found in the Padma Purana and Markandeya Purana. Those who do not observe the 8 Mahadwadasis as instructed by me will have to reside in the abode of Yamaraj until the time of the final annihilation of the universe. Text 284. In the conversation between Lord Brahma and Narada Muni that is found in the Skanda Purana, it is stated, one who neglects to observe the sacred vows of Vyanjali Mahadwadasi, Unmilani Mahadwadasi, and Pakshavardhini Mahadwadasi will reside in hell for 1 kalpa. Text 285. Those who do not observe the vow of Pushpisha Mahadwadasi, which is very dear to Lord Vishnu, will reside in hell for as long as the oceans and rivers exist in this world. Text 286. That looks like 2 texts, but it says only 1, text 286. Yeah. Now the deities of the 4 Mahadwadasis that occur due to contact with particular stars are being described. If the 4 Mahadwadasis, Jaya, Vijaya, Jayanti, and Papanashini, which occur due to contact with 4 stars, Punavasu, Shravana, Rohini, and Pusha, are completed in 60 dandas, one should observe them because such a practice is very beneficial. Text 287. If the time of contact of one of the above-mentioned stars begins before sunrise and continues throughout the entire day and night, and then overlaps the next day, one should observe this Dwadasi. However, if the time of contact does not continue throughout the entire day and night, it should not be observed. Text 288. Apart from the star, Shravana, the period of contact with the stars, Purnavasu, Rohini, and Pusha, which cause the 3 Mahadwadasis, Jaya, Jayanti, and Papanashini, must continue up until sunset. Text 289. Regarding the star Shravana, even if the duration of Dwadasi ends before sunset, one should still follow the vow of Dwadasi. Ata Parna Kala Nirnaya, ascertaining the time for breaking one's fast. Text 290. On the day of breaking one's fast, if contact with the star or titi has extended to this day, or if contact of the titi continues beyond contact with the star, the fast should be broken after contact with the star has ended. If contact with the titi is shorter than the contact with the star, the fast should be broken when contact with the titi has ended. So both the appearance of the star and the titi, the lunar day, are important, and we have to see which is appearing for a longer period of time. Text 291. If on the day of breaking one's fast there is no continuation of Dwadasi, and if the Rohini and Shravana stars have extended their time of contact, the fast should be broken within the period of contact with the stars. If the duration of the contact with Purnavasu and Pusha is extended, the fast should be broken after their period of contact is over. So there's a difference between dates, Dwadasis that are in contact with Rohini and Shravana, and Purnavasu and Pusha. So you have to break the fast during the time of contact of Rohini and Shravana, and not break it until after the contact with Purnavasu or Pusha. Yeah, it's a question about not removing flowers and tulsi on Dwadasi, but we're not going to do an abhishekam. We're not going to perform abhishekam of the deity on Dwadasi, so therefore we have to leave the flowers and tulsi there, because we only take the flowers and tulsi off and then do abhishekam immediately and then replace them with new ones. But of course, it doesn't say that we can't offer also new flowers, but it's an exception to the rule that Nirmalya Prasadam should be taken off the deity. So thus, text 292, thus for the 4 Mahadwadasis that occurred due to the presence of a particular star, have been described according to the opinion of the Vaishnava Acharya Sri Krishna Deva, who wrote the famous essay Nrsimha Paricharya. Nrsimha Paricharya is another book, is a separate book, which is also still available, and which is quoted in Hari Bhakti Vilas. So, text 293 to 294. The glories of the following Mahadwadasis and their procedures are being described. The subject of Unmilani Mahadwadasi. Sudha Goswami spoke this verse, which is found in the Padma Purana. Long ago, King Ambarish was once visited in his ashram by the great sage Gautama. The king hastily got up from his seat, greeted the sage with great respect, and offered him padya, argya, and other articles of worship. Text 295. King Ambarish said, "O great sage, for what purpose have you come here? Please be merciful to me. I hope that you are well. I consider myself most fortunate because today you've come to my residence." Text 296. O exalted sage, is your penance continuing peacefully? Are you fully absorbed in the devotional service of Lord Krishna? Text 297 to 299. O king, my penance is going on nicely. My devotional service unto Lord Krishna is firmly fixed. O best of kings, how are you doing? I hope that you are maintaining the brahmanas very nicely. O king, are you always engaged in rendering devotional service unto Lord Krishna? Are you regularly worshipping the Shalagram Shila? Do you regularly glorify the water that has washed the lotus feet of the Shalagram Shila? Means, do you drink that water every day? Text 300. Do you wash the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas who visit you? Do you apply sandal paste on the bodies of the Vaishnavas and then smear the remnants of that paste on your body? Text 301. Do you offer a flower garland to your Shalagrama Shila every day? Does it say flower garland here? Yeah, malam. Yes. Do you honor the remnants of that flower garland by touching it to your head and neck with devotion? Text 302. O protector of the earth, do you smell the incense that has been offered to Lord Krishna? O king, do you worship Lord Vishnu and pray to him with devotion? Text 303. Do you offer some water over the head of Lord Hari after placing it in a small conch shell? Do you sprinkle some of that water on your head and on the heads of the assembled Vaishnavas? It's very interesting. This seems to be, it gives some examples of how the arti ceremony is performed, especially in North India. So text 304. Are you offering various kinds of food and drink to Lord Narayana, the master of the demigods? Thereafter, are you giving the Lord's remnants to his associates, such as Vishwaksena, and then, along with other Vaishnavas, eating whatever remains? Text 305. Are you reciting the 1,000 names of Vishnu every day with devotion? Do you offer a ghee lamp and arghya to Lord Krishna? Do you sing and dance in ecstasy before the deities? Text 306. O king, do you worship Lord Madhusudana by offering him tender durva grass? Do you offer rice paddy to Lord Krishna at the end of the worship? Text 307. O foremost ruler of men, do you observe the vow of Dwadasi that is not polluted by the touch of dasami? Both during the fortnight of the waxing and the waning moon, remaining awake all night? Text 308. Do you worship Lord Hari every day with offerings of tulsi leaves? Do you decorate your body with tilaka every day? Text 309. Do you wear beads made of amalaki fruit on your neck? Do you place on your head the tulsi garland that is offered to the Lord? Text 310. O king, do you worship the Shalagam Shila and Dwarka Shila, which award material enjoyment as well as liberation? Text 311. O maintainer of the earth, do you recite the Srimad Bhagavatam and the characteristics of Prahlad Maharaj before the deity of Lord Hari every day? Text 312. O king, do you discourage those who observe the vow of an Ekadasi that is mixed with dasami by convincing them not to do so by citing evidence from the scriptures? Text 313. The king of that country where a mixed Ekadasi is observed by citizens will go to hell as a result of that sin. Text 314. One who observes Ekadasi carefully, avoiding the 4 kinds of pollution that can occur during the 4 dandas before sunrise, delivers 10 million of his family members from hell and elevates them to heaven. Text 315. Ambarish said, O exalted Brahmana, I follow each and every devotional principle that you have inquired about. I see the entire world, which is full of moving and non-moving living entities, as simply a manifestation of Lord Vishnu's energy. Text 316. O foremost sage, I consider you to be a manifestation of Lord Vishnu's mercy. You have come to my house as a guest and so kindly described to me the vows related to Lord Vishnu. Text 317. O introspective sage, please tell me, what is there that when accomplished, nothing remains to be done? How can I attain the eternal abode of the Lord and never return to this miserable material existence? Text 318. Sage Gautama replied, O maintainer of the earth, hear now with attention as I describe to you the great Vaishnava vows headed by Dwadasi, which I had never previously discussed with anyone. Text 319. O exalted king, you have certainly made great advancement in devotional service, so that you are now among the foremost of devotees. Please hear from me about the most confidential Vaishnava vows. Text 320. For your benefit, I will now tell you about the vow of Unmilini Mahadwadasi, which Lord Vishnu had explained to me long ago, being pleased with my devotional service. Text 321. If an Ekadasi, after completing its 64 dandas, overlaps the next day, it is called Unmilini Mahadwadasi, which nullifies sinful reactions. Text 222 to 227. 322 to 327. It has never been heard of or seen by me that all the holy places and sacred rivers within the 3 worlds, as well as all kinds of sacrifices, the Vedas, and every type of penance are equal to even 1/1,000,000th part of Unmilini Mahadwadasi. Prayaga, Kurukshetra, Kashi, Pushkar, Reva, Saraswati, Kalindi, Mathura, Pindaraka, Prabhasha, Hatta Keshwara, Himachala mountain, Meru, Gandhamardana, Malaya, Vindhya, Naishada, Godavari, Kaveri, Chandrabhaga, Devika, Tapi, Payoshni, Shipra, Chandana, Charman, Vati, Sharayu, Gandaki, Gomati, Vipasha, Shona, Mahanada are not equal to the Unmilani Mahadwarasi. Text 328. O king, what is the use of telling all these things again and again? Just as there is no one superior to Lord Keshava, there is nothing superior to Unmilani Mahadwarasi. Text 329. Those who worship Lord Keshava on Unmilani Mahadwarasi burn all their sinful reactions to ashes. Text 330. O protector of the earth, you should chant the name of the month in which Unmilani Mahadwarasi occurs while worshipping Lord Govinda, following all the prescribed rules and regulations. Text 331. During that month, one should make a gold deity of Lord Madhava, and according to his capacity, worship the Lord of the universe with faith and devotion. Text 332 to 333. Before beginning the worship of the Supreme Lord, one should install a pitcher filled with sacred Ganges water and worship it with offerings of 5 kinds of jewels, sandal paste, flowers, rice paddy, and flower garlands. O king, thereafter one should place either wheat or rice on a copper plate and place it on top of the pitcher. Text 334. After bathing Lord Govinda and applying kumkum, aguru, sandalwood paste, and tilak to his body, one should place him on top of the pitcher. Text 335 to 338. O saintly king, one should then dress the Lord in a dhoti and a chadar and offer him a sacred thread. One should offer shoes or umbrella, a plate, a water pot, sesame seeds, rice paddy, silver ornaments, cotton, sweet rice, rings, a pillow, a mosquito net, a bed, incense, a ghee lamp, food, fruit, and tulsi leaves to Lord Madhava for his pleasure. The worship should be done with full devotion while chanting the mantras found in Vaishnava literature. Lord Hari should always be worshipped with offerings of tulsi leaves and seasonal fruit. Text 339 to 341. The Lord should be worshipped in the following manner. His lotus feet should be worshipped while chanting the name of the month. His knees while chanting the Vishvarupa mantra. His anus while chanting the Kamapati mantra. His waist while chanting the Pitavasa mantra. His navel while chanting the Brahma Murti Brit mantra. His stomach while chanting the Vishvayoni mantra. His heart while chanting the Gyanagamya mantra. His throat while chanting the Vaikuntha Murti mantra. His forehead while chanting the Urugaya mantra. His arms while chanting the Kshatrantakari mantra. His head while chanting the Suresha mantra, and his entire body while chanting the Sarva Murti mantra. So maybe these mantras are mentioned in the commentary by Sanatana Goswami. We have to have a look at that. Otherwise, this sounds like a puja that is done to the limbs of the Lord, and simply these names in the dative case will be used when offering different items to the Lord. So, text 342. His weapons should be worshipped with devotion, along with the chanting of their names. One should offer arghya to the Lord, along with coconut water. Text 343. A conch shell should be placed on the arghya plate. A piece of fruit should be kept on top of the conch shell. The arghya plate should be decorated with sandalwood paste and flowers, and it should be surrounded by threads. In this way, one should offer arghya. Text 344. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure about that. That's very interesting description. The mantra, the following mantra should be chanted while offering arghya. O Master of the demigods, O Supreme Lord, O Supreme Personality, O Original Lord, O you who are worshipped by the Brahmanas, may your glories increase at every moment. I offer my obeisances unto you. So it's Deva Deva Mahadeva, Mahapurusha, Purvaja, Subramanya Namastu Testu, Punyakirti Vivardhana. Text 345, O Lord of the universe, I have fallen into the ocean of lamentation, illusion, and sinfulness that characterizes material life. Please deliver me. I did not perform any pious activities during my previous hundreds of lives, and so kindly protect me. So this one also seems to be part of the mantras to be chanted. Shoka moha mahapapan mamudhara bhavarnavad. Sukritam na kritam kinchidjan mantara shathairapi. Tatapi mam jagannatha samudhara bhavarnavad. It's like Mamudara Bhavanavat and Samudra Bhavanavat. And text 346. O Lord of the demigods, as a result of executing this vow, please deliver all my forefathers who, due to committing sinful activities, have taken birth in lower species of life and have gone to the abode of Yamaraj, whether they will go there in the future or had gone there in the past. Vratenanena devesha dev vratenanena deveshaye chanye mana purvajaha viyoncha gataschanye papan mrityu vasam gataha ye bhavishyati te titaha Pretalokat Samudhara. Text 347. O Lord Gadadhara, I am very distressed and poor. Please be merciful to me so that I can develop unmotivated devotional service unto you. I offer this arghya to you with devotion and so kindly accept it. Artasya mamadhinasya bhaktir avyabhi chairini datam argyam maya tubhyam Bhaktya Grinha Gadadhara. Text 348. After offering arghya, one should offer to the Lord incense, a lamp, and nice food cooked in ghee. This should be followed by reciting prayers and offering arti, along with chanting and dancing. In this way, one should please Lord Hari. Text 349. Thereafter, one should satisfy his spiritual master by offering him new cloth, a cow, and nice food. While observing a vow, a Vaishnava must not display miserliness. Text 350. It is the duty of a devotee to remain awake on the night of a vow, to please Lord Padmanabha. When the vow is completed, one should surrender everything to the lotus feet of his spiritual master. Text 351. O king, only after one offers the vow to his spiritual master does the vow become complete. Interesting. After finishing all the prescribed duties, one should have his meal in the company of brahmanas. O king, one should spend his day hearing about the qualities and pastimes of Lord Krishna. Text 352. One who follows this procedure while observing the vow of Unmilani Mahadwarasi will reside with Lord Vishnu in his supreme abode for thousands of millions of kalpas. Text 353. It is also said, one who observes the vow of Unmilani Mahadwarasi in the above-mentioned way will become rich, enjoy a long duration of life, receive good children, become very learned, and will not have to traverse the path to hell. Text 354. In a conversation between Sudha Goswami and the sage Shonaka that is found in Brahma Vaivarta Purana, it is stated, until one observes the vow of Unmilani Mahadwarasi, he will continue to suffer in the abode of Yamaraj and continue to commit sinful activities. The great sages have said that all the ingredients that are used to observe the vow of Unmilini Mahadwadasi and the ghee that is used for performing fire sacrifice during this vow award one inexhaustible merit. Text 356, a discussion of Vyanjali Mahadwadasi. In the conversation between Gautama and Ambarisha, which is found in the Padma Purana, it is stated, if an Ekadasi begins 2 hours before sunrise, and if Dwadasi overlaps the next day, it is called Vyanjali Mahadwadasi, and is very dear to Lord Hari. Text 357. Whenever this day appears, whether during the fortnight of the waxing moon or the fortnight of the waning moon, one should eat on Ekadasi and fast on Mahadwadasi. Okay, this is the normal thing that when Mahadwadasi occurs, with the fasting is done on the Mahadwadasi and not on the Ekadasi. Text 358, the king, O king, the breaking of a fast must be done within the period of Dwadasi and not on Trayodasi. By observing this principle, one will obtain the merit of performing 10,000 sacrifices. Text 359. While observing the Vyanjali Mahadwadasi for attaining perfection in religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, one should fast on Dwadasi and break his fast the next day. So this is typical on a Mahadwadasi, we fast on Mahadwadasi, and then the next day on the Trayodasi, we break the fast. Text 360. In the early morning, one should bathe in a river, pond, lake, or at home before engaging in his morning rituals. Text 361 to 364. One should make a deity of Narayana with 8 ratis of gold and then place him on a copper plate and set it on a nicely decorated water pitcher. According to one's means, one should offer the Lord an umbrella made of either peacock feathers or bamboo. One should offer shoes to the Lord and burn fragrant incense in a bell metal holder. Then one should bathe the Lord with milk products. After being bathed, the Lord should be offered a nice dhoti and chadar, and sandalwood paste should be smeared over his body. In this way, one should worship Lord Narayana, who is seated on the top of a water pitcher filled with scented water and decorated with a flower garland. One should not fail to worship the deity with offerings of fragrant flowers. Text 365 to 367. One should worship the Lord's lotus feet by chanting Narayanaya Namaha, his knees by chanting Keshavaya Namaha, his thighs by chanting Madhavaya Namaha, his anus by chanting Kamadipaya Namaha. Yeah, see, this was described before. His waist by chanting Govindaya Namaha, his navel by chanting Madhavamutaye Namaha, his stomach by chanting Vishvarupaya Namaha, his chest by chanting Kaustubhaya Namaha, his throat by chanting Vaikuntaya Namaha, his eyes by chanting Jyoti Rupane Namaha, his head by chanting Sahasra Shirshaya Namaha, and his entire body by chanting Vishvarupine Namaha. Text 368. The various weapons of the Lord should be worshipped by chanting their names. This is the process of worship while executing the vow of Vyanjali Mahadwadasi. Thereafter, one should offer arghya to the Lord along with coconut water. Text 369. One should mix some Ganges water, rice paddy, and flowers in the coconut water, place it in a conch shell, and offer it to the Lord while chanting, O Narayana, O Jagannatha, O Pitambara, O Janardana, O Mahavishnu, O Sanatana, kindly deliver me from the ocean of hellish existence. So that mantra here comes as the last four lines. So this is the instruction: Shanke Kritva Tupaniyam Shakshatam Kushaman Vitam. Then the mantra to be chanted is like this: Narayana Jagannatha Pitambara Janardana Mamudhara Mahavishnu Narakav De Sanatana. Text 370. Let all the sins committed by my forefathers during the previous 7 kalpas be destroyed by this arghya I offer to you. O Lord of the universe, let all my forefathers be delivered along with me. So that mantra is Sapta Kalpa Gatam Papam Yat Kritam Mahama Purvajaihi Anena Arghya Pradhanena Sakalam tat pranashyatu muktim prayantu pitaro maya saha jagatpate. Text 371. O Lord of the demigods, O Janardana, may my forefathers who are suffering somewhere in this miserable material world go to reside in your transcendental abode as a result of this offering of Argya, and that mantra is Maya Tavhargyadanena cha ye chan ye pitaro gataha vasantu twat samipedya deva deva janardana. Text 372. May my vow of Vyanjali Mahadwarasi be successfully completed. O Supreme Lord, may the mixed decodices that I have observed knowingly or unknowingly also be successfully completed. Right? So this is also to be stated. Vratam sampurnatam yatu Vyanjali sambhavam mama dasami samyutam deva yat kritam dvarasi vratam. That should be vratam, I think. Anad agyanad atava gyanad paripuram tadastume. Right. So in case you committed some mistakes, the mixed decodices that have been wrongly observed, right? You should chant this prayer to get free from that problem. Text 373. O Supreme Goddess. O Supreme Goddess, Maheshwari, it says here. Right. Means by offering Argya to Lord Madhusudana, while observing the prescribed rules and regulation, one becomes qualified to reside in the abode of Lord Vishnu for 1,000 kalpas. Text 374 to 376. So that's interesting. So, O king, performing one horse sacrifice is better than performing 1,000 Agastoma sacrifices. Performing one Vajrapaya sacrifice is better than performing 1,000 horse sacrifices. Performing one Pundarika sacrifice is better than performing 1,000 Vajrapaya sacrifices. Performing one Sotramani sacrifice is better than performing 1,000 Pundarika sacrifices. Performing one Rajasuya sacrifice is better than performing 1,000 Sotramani sacrifices. And observing one Vyanjali Mahadwarasi is better than performing 1,000 Rajasuya sacrifices. Okay. Text 377. Simply by uttering the name Vyanjali in this age of Kali, one can at once counteract the sinful reactions accumulated during the previous 10,000 lifetimes. Text 378 to 379. After worshipping Lord Vishnu, by offering him argya, incense, a ghee lamp, food, and arti, one should worship his spiritual master. So, as to obtain the full benefit of one's vow, one should offer the spiritual master new cloth, a cow, land, and grains according to one's capacity. Text 380. If the spiritual master is pleased, then Lord Vishnu is also pleased. Therefore, to please the Supreme Lord, who carries a chakra in his hand, one should faithfully worship his spiritual master. Text 381. One should remain awake on the night of Vyanjali Mahadwarasi and hear narrations of the Supreme Lord's transcendental pastimes. Text 382. For the pleasure of Lord Hari, one should recite the Bhagavad Gita, Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra, and the Srimad Bhagavatam, which was spoken by Shukadev Goswami. Text 383. One who engages in hearing and reciting the Lord's glories on the night of fasting will obtain the merit of giving 1,000 cows in charity. One should also sing, dance, and play musical instruments for the satisfaction of the Lord, Supreme Lord. Text 384 to 385. On the next day of the vow, one should offer everything to his spiritual master and beg forgiveness from the Lord, and especially from the spiritual master. After completing all one's duties, one should sit down and have his meal along with his friends. Text 386. In a conversation between Lord Brahma and Narada Muni that is found in the Skanda Purana, it is stated, the sin of having sex with a forbidden woman or eating abominable food can be nullified by glorifying the Supreme Lord on Vyanjali Mahadwarasi. Text 387 to 389. The sin of stealing another's property, the deity's assets, jewels, grain, or gold, either knowingly or unknowingly, is nullified simply by observing even one vow of Vyanjali Mahadwadasi. In fact, even mental illness, lamentation, misery, physical ailments, and dreaded diseases are alleviated by observing this vow. Text 390. In a conversation between Sutta Goswami and the sage Shonaka, that's found in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, it's stated, O Brahmana, whenever there's a Vyanjali Mahadwadasi, Lord Narayana, whose chariot flag is marked with the emblem of Garuda, personally descends to this world from Vaikuntha to associate with those who observe this vow and fulfill their desires. Text 391. As soon as Yamaraj sees a one who is averse to following the vow of Vyanjali Mahadwadasi, he happily consults Chitragupta, who is his secretary, regarding his punishment. Text 392, he orders Chitragupta, this wicked person is averse to this vow, which is in relation to Lord Vishnu. Therefore, he must come under my control. Quickly erase all the pious merit he has accumulated during many previous births. Text 393. Such people give me a headache and much distress. Text 394. It's also said, observing all kinds of vows, bathing in all of the holy places of pilgrimage, and giving all kinds of charity are equal to observing the sacred vow of Vyanjali Mahadwadasi. Text 395. O Brahmana, if one feeds some Brahmanas after faithfully completing the vow of Vyanjali Mahadwadasi, even if he is sinful, and he obtains the association, he will obtain the association of Lord Krishna. Text 396. By worshipping golden deities of Lakshmi Narayana on Vyanjali Mahadwadasi, according to one's capacity, one will surely be promoted to Vaikuntha. Text 397. O best of the twice born, even if one observes Vyanjali Mahadwadasi by being influenced by debt, lust, greed, or pride, all these three kinds of sinful, sounds like four kinds, three kinds of sinful reactions will be nullified. Or text 398, observing Vyanjali Mahadwadasi is the conclusion of studying all kinds of Vedic literature. It is approved by all learned authorities, and it is a most auspicious engagement for all people. Text 399. After fasting, giving charity, feeding Brahmanas on this auspicious day of Vyanjali Mahadwadasi, one can attain the ultimate goal of life. Text 400. Atha Trispishya Vratam, discussion of the Trispishya Mahadwadasi in the same Purana, right, which was, I'm not sure, it's probably Skanda Purana, Padma Purana. It is stated, the Madhusudani Dwadasi that falls during the fortnight of the waxing moon of the month of Vishaka, is called Trispishya Mahadwadasi. It nullifies millions of sinful reactions. Glorious are those who observe the Madhusudani Trispishya Mahadwadasi in the month of Vaishaka. If it falls on a Wednesday, it's even more auspicious. Text 402 to 403. In the Dwarka Mahatmyam of the same Purana, it is stated, in the beginning of Dwadasi, if the beginning of Dwadasi is overlapped by Ekadasi, and if the end of Dwadasi is overlapped by Trayodasi, it is called Trispishya Mahadwadasi. This Dwadasi is very rare. By fasting and worshipping Lord Krishna on this day, one can obtain the benefit of observing 10,000 ordinary vows. In this age of Kali, by remaining awake on the night of Trispishya Mahadwadasi, one receives hundreds and thousands of times more benefit, and by dancing and singing during that night, one obtains millions of times more benefit than would be normally possible. Text 404. Even if one observes this vow at home, he achieves the full result, and so what can be said of a person who observes this vow in a temple of Lord Krishna, before Lord Krishna? Text 405. In a conversation between Sanat Kumara and Vyasadeva, that's found in the Padma Purana, it is stated, hear now with attention as I describe to you the great vow of Trispishya Mahadwadasi, which destroys even the most heinous sinful reactions. Text 406. I will now describe the vow of Trispishya Mahadwadasi, which is very dear to Lord Vishnu. This vow fulfills all the desires of materialistic persons, and it awards liberation to those who are renounced. Text 407. O great sage, in this age of Kali, one who faithfully glorifies the vow of Trispishya Mahadwadasi obtains the merit of directly worshipping Lord Keshava. Text 408, even by observing the ritual known as Purischarana, all of one's sinful reactions are not destroyed, and yet simply by glorifying the vows of Trisprisha Mahadwadasi, all of one's sinful reactions are vanquished. There is no doubt about this. Text 409 to 410. O foremost Brahmana, one cannot attain liberation without studying of the Vedas and Puranas, by visiting millions of holy places, by observing many vows, and by worshipping the demigods, if he does not observe the vow of Trisprisha Mahadwadasi. Lord Krishna, the master of the demigods, has created Trisprisha Devi, which is most auspicious amongst all vows for the benefit of human society. Text 411. O Brahmana, materialistic people who never meditate on the Supreme Lord or control their senses, and those who are attached to sense gratification, can attain liberation by observing the vow of Trisprisha Mahadwadasi. Text 412 to 413. Lord Vishnu has declared to Mahadeva, to Brahma within the ocean of milk, and to his other surrendered souls, that those who observe the vow of Trisprisha Mahadwadasi, despite being attached to material enjoyment, will attain liberation, even if they have no knowledge of Sankhya philosophy and self-realization. Text 414 to 415. O sage, you should observe this vow of Trisprisha Mahadwadasi, which bestows liberation. You should give up the association of sages who are interested in cultivating knowledge of the Sankhya philosophy, and simply observe the vow of Trisprisha Mahadwadasi, especially when it occurs during the fortnight of the waxing moon in the month of Kartika, on a Monday or Wednesday. The observance of this vow will certainly nullify millions of sinful reactions. Text 416. By fasting on this auspicious day, Lord Shiva became freed from the sin of killing a Brahmana. Not sure exactly when Shiva killed a Brahman. It may be referring to when Shiva cut off one of Brahma's heads. So text 417. O sage, when Mahadeva fasted on Trisprisha Mahadwadasi on the instruction of the great sage Bhrigu, he immediately became relieved from the Brahmana's curse. Text 418. O great sage, as a result of fasting on Trisprisha Mahadwadasi, renouncing all the other vows, Bahuvirya, in times long past, became freed from the sin of killing thousands of Brahmanas. Text 419. On the order of Lord Mahadeva, Ganga Devi, who flows throughout the three worlds, observed the vow of Trisprisha Mahadwadasi, and thus became relieved from the sinful contamination of Kali Yuga. Wow. Text 420. O foremost of Brahmana, as a result of observing the vow of Trisprisha Mahadwadasi, the sinful reactions accumulated by killing thousands of Brahmanas are vanquished, and so, what to speak of ordinary sins? Text 421. O foremost Brahmana, even though there is no possibility of liberation merely by bathing at Prayaga, Kashi, or Gomati, there is certainly a chance of liberation by fasting on Trisprisha Mahadwadasi in front of the deity of Lord Krishna. Text 422. By giving up one's life at Prayag or Kashi, one attains liberation. By bathing in the holy river Gomati, one attains liberation. However, by fasting on Trisprisha Mahadwadasi, one can attain liberation even while remaining at home. Text 423. For materialists who are attached to sense enjoyment, it is extremely difficult to attain liberation. Even those who are detached from sense gratification cannot possibly attain liberation simply by cultivating knowledge of the Sankhya philosophy. Therefore, O Brahmana, just observe the Trisprisha Mahadwadasi, which awards liberation. Text 424. Vyasadeva had said, O foremost sage, tell me about the vow of Trisprisha Mahadwadasi, which bestows liberation on the conditioned souls. I wish to hear about this from you. Text 425. Sanat Kumara replied, O Brahmana, the benefit of observing the vow of Trisprisha Mahadwadasi has been described by Lord Madhava to Janava on the banks of Prachi Saraswati river. Text 426 to 427. Janavi asked, O Rishikesha, sinful people, even the killers of Brahmanas, which bathe in my water in this age of Kali, so that my body will be burnt by the pollution of their horrible sins. O Supreme Lord, O Garudadwaja, how will I become freed from these sins? Text 428 to 429. Prachi Madhava replied, O dear child, do not cry. Listen to what I have to say. I reside at Shristhala, which is situated on the bank of the river Prachi Saraswati, the daughter of Lord Brahma. You should bathe in that river every day. If you do so, you will become as pure as a Vedic mantra. Text 430. There is no doubt that wherever Lord Brahma's daughter, the Prachi Saraswati rivers, flows, I remain at that place. Not only me, but all the demigods and millions of holy places are also present there. Text 431. All sinful reactions are vanquished whenever the sacred Prachi Saraswati river flows, especially by the side of my temple in the Kali Yuga. Text 432. Sri Jahnavi said, O Lord of demigods, O Madhava, I will not be able to come here every day. How then will my sins be destroyed? Kindly instruct me. Prachi Madhava replied, text 433 to 434. O auspicious one, you should simply observe the vow of Trisprisha Mahadwadasi, which is superior to the holy river Saraswati, which is superior to hundreds of millions of holy places, which is superior to millions of sacrifices, which is superior to observing vows and giving charity, which is superior to practicing penance and chanting mantras, which is superior to the cultivation of Sankhya philosophy, and which awards the four objectives of human life. Text 435. O Ganga, best among rivers, by observing the vow of Trisprisha Mahadwadasi, either during the fortnight of the waxing moon or the fortnight of the waning moon, all your sins will be eradicated. Text 436. Mandakini asked, O Lord Madhava, kindly describe to me the vow of Trisprisha Mahadwadasi, for I wish to hear about its glories. Text 437. O Supreme Lord, does Trisprisha indicate the combination of Dasami, Ekadasi, and Dwadasi? Kindly tell me how this occurs. Text 438. Prachi Madhava replied, O goddess, what you've indicated is a demoniac and mixed Trisprisha. You should reject such a day for observing a vow, just as one neglects a sannyasi who does not observe any kind of vow. Text 439. Just as having intimate association with a woman during her menstrual period is prohibited, so is observing the vow of Trisprisha Mahadwadasi that is polluted by the touch of Dasami, because it increases the lifespan and strength of the demons. Text 440. Just as having sexual relations with a woman during her menstrual period is forbidden, any Ekadasi or Dwadasi that's mixed with Dasami is strictly avoided by Vaishnavas. Text 441. O Jahnavi, by my mercy, Trisprisha Mahadwadasi annuls 100,000, that's a million, right, sinful reactions. However, those who are not favored by me do not obtain any benefit by observing this vow. Text 442. You should know that for certain that Trisprisha Mahadwadasi begins with the morning touched by Ekadasi, continues throughout the day as pure Dwadasi, and at the end of the night overlaps Trayodasi. If a Trisprisha Mahadwadasi is touched by Dasami, then it is not pure. Text 443. One who observes an Ekadasi that is mixed with Dasami drinks deadly poison and eats dog stool. Text 444. Knowing this fact well, one should never observe an Ekadasi that is polluted by the touch of Dasami. By observing such a vow, one loses his accumulated piety obtained during his previous 10 million births, as well as his children. Text 445. Especially if there is an overlapping of the full moon day or new moon day, or if there is any doubt in this regard, by my order, one should observe my favorite vow of Dwadasi. Text 446. All devotees of Lord Hari should observe Ekadasi by my order. You should know that any Ekadasi or Dwadasi devoid of the touch of Dasami is very dear to me. Text 447. Vilasa said, O Brahmana, O sage, please describe to me the rules and regulations prescribed for the Trisprisha vow so that I can also observe it. Text 448 to 450. Sanat Kumara replied, according to one's financial capacity, one should make a deity of the Lord Damodar out of gold. One should take a copper plate, fill it with paddy rice, and set it on top of a copper pitcher filled with water and decorated with a flower garland. There should be 5 kinds of jewels, aguru, and camphor placed in that water. Then one should be devotedly bathe Lord Damodar, applying sandalwood paste to his body and dress him in a dhoti and chadar. Text 451. One should then worship the Lord by chanting appropriate mantras that were imparted to him by his spiritual master. One should also offer seasonal flowers and tender tulsi leaves. Text 452. One should offer an umbrella made of palm leaves and having a bamboo handle and a pair of shoes. This should be followed by offering nicely cooked food and fruit. Text 453. One should then offer the Lord a chadar and a sacred thread. A freshly cut, beautiful bamboo stick should be offered as well. Text 454 to 457. The Lord's lotus feet should be worshipped by chanting Damodaraya Namaha, his thighs by chanting Madhavaya Namaha, his anus by chanting Kama Pataya Namaha, his waist by chanting Vamana Mutaya Namaha, his navel by chanting Padmanabhaya Namaha, his stomach by chanting Vishvarupaya Namaha, his chest by chanting Gyanagamyaya Namaha, his throat by chanting Sri Kantaya Namaha, his arms by chanting Sahasra Bhavaya, it should be Bhave Namaha, right? His eyes by chanting Yoganayake Namaha, his forehead by chanting Ugraya Namaha, his head by chanting Sahasra Shirshaye Namaha, Sahasra Shirase Namaha, his entire body by chanting Chararupine Namaha, his weapons by chanting their respective names. After worshipping the Lord in this way, one should offer him arghya. Text 458. One should place an auspicious coconut on top of a conch shell, surrounded by this thread, and hold it with both hands. Texts 459 to 466. The arghya mantra is as follows: O Janardana, if your remembrance removes all my sinful reactions, then kindly dispel my nightmares, wicked mentality, tension, and fear of hellish life. O Lord, O Vishnu, O Damodar, O Supreme Lord, O Janardana, also remove my fear born of sinful activities, as well as all other kinds of worldly and heavenly fear. Kindly accept this arghya. Let my devotion always remain fixed on your lotus feet. Thereafter, one should, well, what's that mantra? That mantra is up here. It looks like Smrito Harasi Papani, Satyam Yadi Janardana, Dusvapnam Durmitancha Manaso Durvi Chintatam Narakancha Bhayam Deva Bhayam Durgati Sambhavam Bhayam Anyat Mahadeva Aihikam Paralokikam Sarva Nashaya Me Vishnu Grihan Argyam Janardana Mama Bhakti Sadaivastu Damodara Tavo Pari. Okay, so then we continue on. Thereafter, one should worship the Lord by offering him incense, a ghee lamp, food, and arti, or best of sages. You should offer a small conch shell filled with water above the head of the Lord. After properly completing the worship of the Lord in this way, one should offer fine white cloth to his spiritual master and worship him by offering sandalwood paste, a flower garland, and other articles. One should offer shoes, an umbrella, a ring, a water pot, edibles, betel nuts, grains, and a monetary dakshina to his spiritual master. After worshipping Lord Hari, the master of the demigods, as well as the spiritual master, in this way, one should remain awake the entire night while studying the scriptures, singing, dancing, and playing musical instruments. At the end of the night, one should again offer arghya to the Lord, according to the prescribed rules and regulations. Thereafter, one should complete his daily duties, such as bathing, and then sit down and have his meal along with other brahmanas.
Om